There's a story behind every person. There's a reason they are the way they are. As broken as you may feel, you are still strong. You hold yourself together and keep moving.
She was the most popular girl in school.
She was a cheerleader. She was going to be the prom queen.
She had the world at her feet.
But it all went away in an instant.
Her mother found her in a pool of blood.
She's just yelling, Quilla, 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 like hysterical.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine waking up to find her dead.
To find out who killed this beloved prom queen, detectives will have to cut through a tangled web of teenage drama.
She was supposed to be going out with him.
But she was taking someone else to prom.
He couldn't accept no for an answer.
I think everybody was just so horrified and shocked.
No one wouldn't expect it.
It was just too much. Too much. Too much.
Right.
June 5th, 2013, East Orange, New Jersey. It's early Wednesday morning in this tight-knit town just 4 miles outside Newark.
It's not as large or as populated as Newark. It doesn't have as much crime as we get out of Newark, and it's a decent area to raise kids.
Which is why Nicole Flood isn't worried when she knocks on her 17-year-old daughter's bedroom door that morning and doesn't get an answer.
Girl, you need to get up.
Aquila mother woke up and it was late, and Aquila wasn't getting ready for school.
Girl, you hear me? Aquila. Girl, you hear me? Oh my God. Aquila!
Nicole's shout jolts awake her brother Dana, who's asleep on the living room couch.
She's just yelling, Quilla, 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 like hysterical. So I want to see what she's yelling at.
Baby.
What's going on?
Aquila, she won't wake up. Aquila, baby.
She just looked like she was sleeping.
Help me turn her over. Oh my God.
Nicole flipped her over, and that's when I saw the mattress. It was all blood.
My God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
He looked at her and said, Nicole, she's dead.
We got to go.
She gone.
Born in 1995, Aquila Flood was raised by a doting single mother and her loving family.
Nicole was always there in Aquila's life. She never wanted for anything, to my knowledge. And we're pretty close-knit family. We lived so close by, so if Nicole had to go to work early, we took Aquila to school. It was never a situation where they were really needy. We made sure of that.
With her mother's support, Aquila thrived, growing into a happy, confident teen.
She had a big personality. Like, she was fun, caring, loving. Like, she just liked to live.
She was always popular. She knew everybody. You know, she was very outgoing.
She was also the cheerleading captain.
She was just so pretty. She was always like the pretty girl in our school.
At East Orange Campus High, the popular cheerleader was also the trendsetter.
She was really into fashion. She was really into the makeup and the hair. That was like our thing.
She really loved, you know, dressing up, just even if it was to dress up just to take pictures and stuff. When Instagram first came out, she had, you know, like 2,000-3,000 followers.
Girls wanted, to either be like her or be her friend.
But it was the boys at Campus High who really took notice whenever Aquila walked by.
Hey, Quilla.
Hey, Tony.
Everybody wanted Quilla. But she was, like, skeptical because she know that a lot of these guys is just, out for what they out for.
She wasn't into your typical high school hookup. She wanted the real deal.
She always just wanted to find true love.
And in 2011, it seemed Aquila had finally found it when 16-year-old Almukadeem Means transferred to Campus High.
His friends called him Mook.
His personality was kind of like something that kind of drawed her to.
She liked dudes with a lot of confidence.
Didn't have to dress to impress me.
Stop. You know we just had practice.
Still looking fine.
Aquila and Mook quickly became the couple everyone in school admired.
He just liked what he saw. He pursued her. I guess he decided to give him a chance.
She was the most popular thing in the school. He was the most popular thing in the school.
They had puppy love. They were really cute in school, in the hallways, in the lunchroom, after school. Their bond was really nice.
Everyone has a high school sweetheart. I feel like that was hers.
All right, y'all.
Loved and respected both at home and at school, Aquila felt more confident than ever and began to set her sights on her future.
She knew that she was smart and that she could get anything that she wanted if she worked for it.
She said she wanted to be a designer, and she was getting ready to go to school for designing.
Her intention was to go see what sort of doors and internships could open for her by going to school and studying that as a major, and eventually open up her own boutique and sell her own fashions that she was creating and coming up with.
She'd been accepted to a local liberal arts school and was hoping to use that as a jumping off point to bigger things.
Aquila had her dreams on going to Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City.
I was starting to teach her how to make patterns so she could sew.
With graduation little more than a month away, Aquila was ready to spread her wings.
We couldn't wait to get out of school, go to college. Everything was big that was happening.
Though there was one final milestone Aquila was ready to celebrate before saying goodbye to high school, senior prom.
In high school, going to prom is like getting married. That's like the biggest deal of your life.
Especially for Aquila.
She was supposed to be crowned prom queen.
She was the perfect fit, so everyone voted her as prom queen.
By June 4th, with the big night just a week away, prom was the only thing on Aquila's mind.
Her grandmother was going to make her dress for the prom, the dress that she had in mind and that she had designed for herself.
We both was going to rise together to prom with our dates. And the last text message I sent her, I told her I was going to talk to her the next day.
But Aquila never got the chance to respond.
Oh, this blood. God, oh my God.
Her mother found her daughter laying in bed, not moving, and then there was blood on her sheets.
They had leaked through the mattress to the floor.
She was already gone.
The mother dialed 911. She was very nervous, hysterical.
When police arrive on the scene moments later, it doesn't take long to realize what's happened to the young would-be prom queen.
It looked like it was just one single gunshot wound to the left side of her head. The person that did this collected the weapon. They were not looking to stage the scene as a suicide or anything of that nature.
Aquila Flood had been murdered.
June of 2013 was supposed to be the long-anticipated culmination of Aquila Flood's high school career.
We both was about to go up to college. We was ready to go to prom with our friends, everybody that we knew since freshman year. It was exciting.
Everyone voted her as prom queen. The classmates felt like she'd be a perfect fit.
But on the morning of June 5th, 1 week before the 17-year-old is supposed to be crowned, Aquila's dreams are shattered.
Oh my God!
Aquila had been found by her mother deceased in bed. It appeared to be a gunshot wound.
The paramedics say she's dead. It was no chance that she could be alive.
When detectives arrive, they work quickly to get up to speed.
Once I got to the scene, I spoke to the responding officer, and she was telling me that the mother woke up approximately around 7 o'clock in the morning. She went to wake up her daughter for school, and that's when she discovered that her daughter was dead.
At first glance, it appears that Aquila may have been shot in her sleep.
It didn't appear that there was any sort of struggle at the scene. The room wasn't in disarray.
However, a closer examination soon gives detectives their first clue.
She was in the bed, and she was fully clad, which was kind of strange.
There was a bullet hole in the wall away from the bed and at about eye level,
which would indicate that she was standing up at the time of the gunshot and that she was standing in the middle of the room at the time that she received the gunshot.
That's how we know that the scene was staged.
She wouldn't have landed on the bed.
Also, the blood was all dry, which would indicate that she had been in that bed for some time prior to her mother finding her.
Why someone would stage this scene isn't clear to detectives, but the scene does offer some additional clues.
The front door, the entrance to her apartment, there was no forced entry, so either the door was unlocked, purposely left unlocked, or somebody let the person in.
It could even have been Aquila who let her killer into the apartment.
This person had access to her in her bedroom, so it appeared that it was somebody that she knew.
But who? After processing the scene, detectives have Aquila's mother and uncle transported to the station for formal statements.
You want to look at all of the people present in the house, relatives, anybody close to her.
Before leaving the scene, detectives canvassed the apartment building.
There was no one that came forward and said they heard any gunshots, which was shocking to us because the shooting happened inside of an apartment building. We were thinking somebody inside the building from another floor, another neighbor on the same floor, but no.
It was pretty hard for detectives to believe that no one heard anything.
We very rarely ran into a situation where somebody uses a silencer on a gun, but we don't rule anything out, and we don't like to get tunnel vision.
The apartment's security office is also little help.
All the cameras in the building was dummy cameras. None of them worked.
With their canvas abust, detectives returned to the station to take statements from Aquila's mother and uncle.
She had been found by her mother, and her uncle was there and was sleeping on the couch that night. So we wanted to talk to the uncle and find out why he's there.
So you're living with your sister and your niece?
Yeah, it's temporary. Nicole helping me out, so she let me sleep on her couch till I get myself together.
I wasn't on my sister's lease. I wasn't supposed to be staying there.
Money was tight, and he just needed a place to go to get back on his feet, and his sister wanted to help him out.
He indicated to us that he had worked a full day, and that night he had gone out with his girlfriend.
He stated that he got home around 3 o'clock in the morning, and he noticed that his niece's bedroom light was on, and her TV was blaring.
Quilla.
She didn't answer, so he just assumed she'd just fallen asleep. So he just assumed she'd just fallen asleep.
So he went into her bedroom, turned off the light, he turned off the TV,
I went back out the room and I laid on the couch and I woke up to my sister yelling.
And you had no idea she was dead?
Of course not. What you getting at? Why would they put me in that? It didn't make any sense.
I wouldn't do nothing to that girl. That's my niece. That's family, and I love her like my own. Y'all tripping.
The uncle stated that he loved his niece and did not want to hurt his niece.
He was very overprotective of Quilla. He looked at Quilla as his daughter.
I was her favorite, basically. I'm big up on her.
Still, detectives had to rule him out as a possible suspect, which they couldn't do until they spoke with his girlfriend and got a clearer sense of Aquila's time of death from the medical examiner.
While they wait for answers, detectives turn to Aquila's grieving mother, Nicole.
I know this is going to be difficult for you, ma'am, but if you could, walk us through the night before.
The mother said she went into her daughter's room around 9 o'clock. And that was the last time that she saw her daughter.
She went to her room. She took some medication.
The medication that she was taking really put her to sleep, kind of into a deep sleep.
Did you hear anything at all in the night?
No, I slept on to the morning.
She had apparently slept right through the gunshot, too.
Detectives have no reason to doubt Nicole's story.
There was no motive on Mom's part that we could identify.
We could tell the mother loved her daughter.
What about your brother? What was his relationship with your daughter like?
They're close, real close. He loves her.
She was adamant that he treated her like his daughter, that he was absolutely not somebody that should be looked at as a suspect.
Can you think of anybody who'd want to harm your daughter?
Not Quilla. She was prom queen, for goodness sakes. Everyone loved her.
But detectives knew that with popularity comes drama. So maybe there's some teenage drama going on here.
What about her boyfriend? Was she dating anyone?
Yeah, well, Moot.
We learned that Aquila Flood used to date Al-Muqaddim Means, but they broke up.
Why did they break up?
I don't know. They were just kids.
It was a relatively new breakup, maybe just a few months.
As she got mature and older and out of the high school sweetheart phase, she started to drift away from him.
Aquila had so much in front of her, a very, very promising future, and she no longer wanted to be with him.
Was she seeing anyone else since?
Lately she was talking about some boy.
Do you know his name?
All I know is she calls him Fresh.
It was like a very, very new sort of relationship. They had only been dating for a few weeks.
With a recent breakup and a new man in Aquila's life, detectives have to consider that either could be her killer.
There could be a scorned lover scenario going on here, or a love triangle gone wrong.
She was young, beautiful, and popular. Either someone wanted her and couldn't have her, or someone wanted to be her and needed her out of the picture.
On average, approximately 1,400 American teens between the ages of 15 and 19 are victims of firearm-related homicides every year. Behind traffic accidents, firearm-related homicides are the second leading cause of death for teenagers in the United States. After questioning Aquila Flood's mother and uncle, detectives have turned their sights to the murdered teen's inner circle.
Our next people we will go to will be her boyfriend or boyfriends and or friends.
According to her mother, Nicole, Aquila had recently broken up with 18-year-old Al-Muqaddim Means and moved on to a new young man Aquila's mother only knows as Fresh.
She just started dating him probably a month prior to she's gone. So it was just like, what happened?
Detectives also had to consider that the prom queen may have been killed by a jealous rival.
Maybe Fresh had an ex who didn't like this new relationship. Or maybe she was a target in general because of her popularity.
Hoping to learn more, detectives pay a visit to East Orange Campus High School.
We wanted to get a better idea of who Aquila was at the time of her death and who she was interacting with.
Instead, They find the entire student body struggling to process the news that their prom queen is dead.
Word got around school quick that day. Everybody's crying in the hallway. It was like everybody lost a family member, basically.
She was literally friends with everyone. So it just really took a toll.
There were two people, however, who weren't crying in the hallways over news of Aquila's death.
One is her current boyfriend, Fresh.
He didn't go to our school. He was a brother of one of our close friends.
The other is Aquila's ex-boyfriend, Mook.
When detectives ask school officials about interviewing Mook, they're told he's no longer a student.
I had class in the beginning of the year. He was there, and then he just wasn't there anymore. Then come to find out he was arrested.
He was arrested from robbing another student on campus. Phone or like a wallet or something.
He did end up being expelled from the high school.
A quick records check reveals this wasn't an isolated incident.
He had a robbery charge, he had a gun charge, and he also had drug charges.
He just wanted to be more and more gangster, and everything just kept escalating with him.
Based on his record, detectives make finding Mook their first priority.
He was somebody of interest. Detectives did make attempts to locate him.
He had multiple addresses he was staying at.
They went to all of the known addresses, and he was not at any of those addresses.
However, detectives are able to track down Aquila's new boyfriend, Fresh.
He actually lived in the area and attended a neighboring high school.
He was still a minor, but detectives got permission to interview him.
I assume you heard about Aquila.
Yeah, everyone's been texting me about it all day. It's messed up, man.
Unlike Mook, Fresh didn't have a record. At least not yet.
He was in the streets a little bit, like that.
When was the last time you saw Aquila?
He was like, I was texting her last night. We were supposed to meet up, and she never came.
Of course, they're thinking it was possible he was lying and they did meet up. Or maybe Aquila met someone else instead.
Do you know Mook?
I never really met him.
They didn't know each other, but they knew of each other.
Do you know anybody else that Aquila's been dating?
Well, this is guy who was taking out the prom.
Suddenly, Fresh had added a new guy into the mix.
Before she started going up Fresh, she already had her prom day set.
His name is Stephen Johnson.
He was someone, popular, handsome kid, played football, she cheerlead.
She figured that that'd be a brilliant idea to bring someone like Steven to prom.
How do you feel about somebody else taking her to prom?
I mean, it's cool. They're just friends.
She wasn't dating him. He was the prom king. She was going to be the prom queen, so it was a connection for the prom.
Fresh didn't seem jealous that she was going to prom with someone else.
Or is he just good at hiding it?
Where were you last night, say from midnight on?
It was a school night. I was home asleep.
Fresh didn't have anyone who could provide him with an alibi for the night of the murder.
They now had 3 boys who were in Aquila's life. 3 boys that she might have seen on the night she died. And so far, they couldn't rule out any of them as a potential suspect.
Detectives continue their search for Mook and issue a bolo for Stephen Johnson.
At this point, these young men were their biggest leads.
As the sun sets on the first day of their investigation, detectives try a new approach to track down their killer.
We recanvassed that area for any surveillance video.
Detectives had struck out early when they looked for cameras in Aquila's building, but there could be others on the surrounding block.
A few doors down the street, detectives locate a camera that covers Aquila's building.
The officers were able to pull video surveillance that showed the front door.
Reviewing the video reveals an African-American male outside Aquila's building at around 1:30 on the morning of the murder.
Looked like that person entered the apartment building and then went upstairs.
A few minutes later, he's back.
A subject could be seen running from that front door at a high rate of speed.
Unfortunately for detectives, the footage was grainy and from pretty far away.
You can identify that it's one figure wearing the same type of clothing running back and forth from the apartment building, but you wouldn't be able to identify his face.
However, the video may not be a total bust for detectives.
Once he leaves, then he goes across the street to a parking lot, and then he comes back out shortly thereafter.
Detectives had a pretty good guess about what he was doing.
The sergeant who was viewing it told me, we're going to go back, we're going to look through that parking lot, and we're going to find the weapon.
New Jersey detectives investigating the murder of 17-year-old Aquila Flood have just found security footage showing an unidentified man running from her apartment building on the morning of the murder.
He left around 1:30 a.m. and took a short detour to the parking lot across the street.
So that prompted us to say, well, let's see what he was doing in the parking lot.
After viewing the video, detectives descend on the parking lot in full force.
We looked up under every car, and underneath a Mercedes-Benz, we found a .38 caliber handgun.
There was one spent shell casing in the revolver. And that's the indication to us that this was most likely our murder weapon.
The gun is sent down for ballistics, and it was also tested for any latent prints.
Detectives wanted to confirm that it was a match for the .38 slug that they dug out of the wall of Aquila's bedroom.
The next morning, when detectives receive the results of Aquila's autopsy, they further suggest that the man in the video is the shooter.
The autopsy revealed that no significant decomposition had started on the body, that she had been dead for a few hours before she had been found. So the timeline appeared to match that she would have received that fatal gunshot wound at about 1:30 in the morning.
But who was the shooter?
The video was blurry. You couldn't really make a positive ID from it.
At this point, detectives were thinking it's either Stephen, Fresh, or Mook.
With one boyfriend already questioned and bolos out for the others, detectives turned to Aquila's close friends, hoping for more information on the young teen's personal life.
On the 6th, we were able to bring in her friends from the school.
We were certainly interested in whether or not she had any kind of enemies, whether it be because she was going to be the prom queen, whether it be for other reasons.
Everyone loved Aquila. For real, I can't think of anyone at school that didn't get along with her.
Aquila didn't have any enemies. Everyone has little fights or girls that don't like them, guys that are mad, but it was never to the point that, okay, yeah, I'm going to kill her.
She didn't have no one that was like after her or wanted to harm her.
However, Aquila's friends do admit there's one guy they can't help but be suspicious of.
The first thing I thought, because I knew she was supposed to be going with Fresh, I'm like, was it Fresh?
I heard that rumor as well, that Fresh was possibly the person.
She just started dating him and she's gone.
Detectives took their suspicions seriously since Fresh didn't have an alibi.
Any idea why you think he would have done it?
That's what I just don't understand. He was sweet and genuine.
He would call her all the time. It just felt comfortable.
We actually had genuine love for each other.
We heard she was going to prom with someone else. Would Fresh get mad at something like that?
No, he was cool her going with Steve. It didn't mean anything.
It was just like, we're going together. We're all going to just hop into this limo.
And Steve, did he want to be anything more than just her prom date?
There was no romantic interest from what her friends were telling us, either on her end or even on his end. They were just good friends.
Did anyone else ask for a prom?
Mook did.
Thought he was expelled.
Well, he still wanted to go.
The last time that he came home from jail, he asked her to come to our prom. And she said no.
He left it alone for a while, but as the date got closer, he asked her again. And he got so upset that he said some foul things to her.
That was a huge red flag for detectives.
Though it's what Mook did after the murder that really piques detectives' interests.
Al-Mughadeen Means was reaching out to Aquila Flood's friends to talk to them about what had happened.
What did he say?
He told us he'd been in her apartment.
That night?
Yeah.
He admits he stopped by. He was like, I stopped by when I left she was alive.
She had told him that he had to leave because she was expecting another male visitor.
Did Mook say who she was expecting?
No, but he kind of hinted that it was Fresh.
To detectives, there's only one way to find out who Aquila's visitor was that night.
Aquila was a teenage girl. Her whole life revolved around her cell phone.
Detectives pull Aquila's cell phone records and begin pouring through her text history.
It would appear that she was communicating with her friends about how excited she was to go to the prom.
However, there were no texts or anything to indicate that Aquila had been expecting Fresh to come over that night.
They were going to try to meet up, but the plan was never for him to come see her. She was going to try to go see him.
As detectives begin zeroing in on Mook, they get an unexpected call from the East Orange 911 dispatch center.
We learned that another 911 call had been placed at approximately 1:40, 1:45 that morning from that same general area.
Oh, that's great. Can you send it over? Thank you.
We didn't know if it was related at that time.
But when detectives pull the call, they're stunned by what they hear.
He was basically describing Aquila's murder.
The only way you would know these details is if you were in the room with her.
911, where's your emergency?
Hello, somebody died on Rose Street. Somebody got shot in the head.
Detectives investigating the murder of Aquila Flood have learned of a second 911 call made just hours before the young teen's body was discovered.
They were saying that there was a person shot.
The call came in from the vicinity of Aquila's apartment building, and around the time detectives believed the murder occurred.
The 911 call came in at approximately 1:41 a.m. and he stated he's outside and he heard a gunshot and the girl got shot in the head. That there was blood all over.
I see, all I see is blood, like the window. I was in the parking lot.
Okay, you was in the parking lot, but you just told me you was in your window. So were you in the parking lot or were you in your window?
It's clear the operator suspected something was off.
The 911 call taker asked him, if you're outside in the parking lot, how could you see that there was a girl that was shot inside the house? And he said, no, well, I heard the one shot, and I heard the girl go, oh.
The window that I could see from the parking lot. All I heard was a gunshot, man, and I see blood splatter on the window and the scream. I heard the girl gasp. She said, oh.
At that point, the 911 operator was starting to get suspicious.
He could tell right there he's lying, and that he was the person that probably was the murderer.
You heard her, but you never saw her.
No, man.
All right, because you said you saw a female shot in the head.
And I said it because I seen a guy. I seen a guy running.
All right, well, hold on. Now he's saying he didn't see it. He heard a shot. He keeps changing up the story. And I can't get him to come out and speak with you guys. Hello?
But as strange as the 911 call was, the real surprise for detectives was who supposedly made it.
This person had provided their actual name to law enforcement.
It was Al-Muqaddim Means. He identified himself, and he also provided his telephone number.
Officers actually did make contact with him that night.
The officer that responded to that 911 call, he actually saw Al-Muqaddim Means walking westbound on William Street from the crime scene.
The problem, officer? Yeah, somebody called about some shots fired. That was me.
He said the gunshots was down by that apartment building on Grove and William.
Did you see anything? You see anybody with a gun? No, not really.
Al-Muqaddim Means was a little nervous.
He indicated to them that he thought he had seen something through a window. He couldn't tell them exactly what he saw.
And the caller said something about a girl. Look, man, I can't really tell you anything, and I gotta get home. Hey, man, wait a minute. Hey. Hey, man, hold on. Hey.
He broke off communication with the officers and proceeded to walk away from them and not be responsive to any of their questions. Al-Muqaddim Means never called back to 911 to clarify any of the comments that he made.
They didn't have enough to bring him in. There was nothing there. They just let him go.
The officers did drive around the area and they could not find anything out on the street. They could not They could not find anything out on the street. They could not hear anybody calling for help.
Now, less than 48 hours later, the entire incident leaves detectives more than a little puzzled.
Why would Mook call police if he just shot his ex-girlfriend?
It seemed like from the 911 call that he placed that he was somewhat panicked, and it might have just been a instinctive reaction.
I can't tell you what's going through his head, but it was very odd that he actually did dial 911.
It's just not something that normally occurs in a homicide investigation.
This new development jolts Mook to the top of the suspect list.
The word was out that he was a suspect and a person of interest in this investigation, that he was somebody that law enforcement was looking for.
It was just a manhunt for him. They kept trying to catch him, and it's like every time they thought they had him, he would not be there.
With Mook apparently in hiding, detectives file a communications data warrant in hopes of tracking his phone.
Once we applied for the CDW, a couple of days would go by because we had to wait until we could get that back from the phone carrier.
While they wait, detectives receive the ballistics results on the .38 recovered from the parking lot across from Aquila's building.
It was identified as the murder weapon.
And that's not all.
The latent print was lifted off that weapon.
It's a match for a print in Mook's police file.
We could put the weapon literally in his hands.
But will they be able to put him in handcuffs? Finally, on June 10th, detectives zero in on their prime suspect.
5 days after the murder, the FBI Fugitive Task Force was able to trace al-Muqaddin's cell phone.
Federal marshals move quickly to apprehend Mook at the location, a friend's residence on the outskirts of town.
They knocked on the door. His friend answered.
Hey, we have a warrant for the arrest of al-Muqaddin's things.
He ain't here, man.
They could hear some scuffling.
Yeah, get back! Hold it right there!
It sounded like someone opening a window.
All units, she's on the roof.
The thing that kept going through my mind was, like, where could he be? Like, who could be hiding him? Everyone was really on the hunt for him. We just wanted to find him. We honestly just wanted to know why. That was the biggest question. We just wanted to find him so we could get answers.
"5 days after the murder of 17-year-old Aquila Flood, federal marshals have finally tracked down the man they believe to be her killer, 18-year-old al-Muqaddin Means.
But just as they thought they had Mook cornered, he went out of a window.
All units, she's on the roof.
He was trying to really escape and was jumping roof to roof.
Mook doesn't get far, though.
He was preparing himself to jump from one roof to the other when he was apprehended.
Hey! I didn't do anything. Put your hands behind your head and get down on your knees. Don't move.
They apprehended him on the roof. They brought him back down. And once they got back to the office, they took a formal Miranda statement from al-Muqaddin Means.
In his statement, Mook admitted to detectives he'd gone over to Aquila's apartment that evening.
I just wanted to talk to her.
He stated that she let him in, and she told him that you're going to have to leave now because her boyfriend is coming by.
He indicated that he then showed her the gun.
Though according to Mook, he'd never intended to shoot Aquila.
He stated that they then started tussling for the gun and the gun went off.
While it's an elaborate tale, detectives don't buy a word of it.
We knew that there was not a struggle for the gun. The crime scene don't show any signs of a struggle. If she got shot in the head, how did she get herself back in the bed? We knew he was lying about that.
They'd also read her text and knew that nobody was coming over that night.
Why don't you tell me what really happened?
Rather than an accidental shooting, detectives believe Mook killed Aquila in a moment of rage.
Look, you shouldn't come over here anymore.
I just want to talk.
I don't think he could deal with, the fact that she was with someone else. and not him.
You have to let me go to prom with you.
I already told you no. And she just was over it. She was over him at that point.
I ain't gonna ask you again.
What is your problem? Get out of my house.
My opinion to what had happened was he had brandished a handgun and probably tried to scare her with that handgun.
I don't know if it like his pride or what it was.
I'm not leaving until you tell me why.
Why? Because you're crazy. Now get out.
He killed Quilla basically in cold blood. He shot her in the head, and then he picked the body up, laid her in the bed.
He ran out that apartment building to hide the gun. He walked to the corner, placed that 911 call.
We were never able to really explain why he did call 911 that night. There was no indication that he was doing it to try to save her or any sort of concern for her.
Though Mook insists they've got the wrong idea, detectives have heard enough.
Stand up for me.
Al-Muqaddin Means was charged with the murder of Aquila Flood, the unlawful possession of the weapon, and possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose.
While it's news that Aquila's friends and family have been waiting for, it leaves them torn.
I was relieved. I was happy that he was found. But, you know, in the back of my mind, I still wanted a little bit of street justice.
I would have been content with him being dead.
Instead, it's Aquila who's dead. And 2 days after her killer's arrest, friends and family say their final goodbyes.
We buried her the day before prom. 2 weeks before graduation.
They sent off doves. They sent off butterflies. It was just so much love.
She was buried in her prom dress and the way she wanted her makeup for prom and the way she was going to wear her hair. And that really hurt everyone. Because she would never get to go.
But will she get justice? As the trial date approaches, Al-Muqaddin Means pleads guilty in exchange for a lesser charge.
It was reduced down to aggravated manslaughter at the time of the plea.
A plea of aggravated manslaughter meant that he faced a maximum of 30 years in prison.
The decision is a bitter disappointment for Aquila's family.
My daughter wanted him to have 60 years. I felt it should be a life for life.
The sentencing was a very, very tense event. Al-Muqaddin Means' family did ask the court to reduce the number of years in the sentence.
His father, his mother, everybody came to his defense.
Mook takes the opportunity to address the court as well.
She said, I apologize. I didn't mean to kill Quilla. I loved her. This is what he said.
That really emotionally affected Aquila Flood's family. Words were kind of exchanged back and forth.
With tensions running high, the judge hands down Al-Muqaddin's sentence. 24 years in prison.
24 years is, like, not enough.
I felt like Mook was getting off very easy.
Unlike Aquila, Mook will still have a chance to make something of his life.
She's going forever. And he gets to come home when he's, 40? And I have a life and I have kids. It just hurts. It's not fair.
She was only 17. She didn't even really get to live life.
It's a loss that will haunt Aquila's friends and family for the rest of their lives.
I miss her saying big uncle. That's one of the main things I miss. Just her just saying my name, just calling me.
I just miss her laugh, for real. Like when I dream, I can still hear her laughing.
I miss my baby. She was my heart. You can't get that back.
She'd found new love in a new city.
I was happy for her. Happy that she's finally met someone.
They was lovey-dovey. It was like a fairy tale.
But behind closed doors, things aren't always as picture perfect as they seem.
She became a different person when she was with him.
There'd been some period of time that they had not heard from her.
I did not know where my baby was.
It was not unusual for Cree to leave town. People run away and try to get a new life.
Is this a case of miscommunication or murder?
This was the kind of person who, if there was a disagreement, would probably resort to violence.
I'm very suspicious that she was involved. Somebody knows more than what they were saying. She would never, ever leave her daughter. She's not going to do that.
Desperation will keep her family searching for the painful truth.
This is a nightmare that nobody wanted to believe.
His mom says, Miss Will, that do terrible things for no reason, just because.
July 1st, 2016. It's a warm Friday evening in Newark, New Jersey, when local resident Dee Dee Smith receives a worrying call about her 7-year-old granddaughter.
Her other grandmother. She called me and told me my granddaughter had an ear infection.
She says she tried taking her to the clinic, but she couldn't because she didn't have her insurance card.
School had let out in June, and Cree had taken her daughter to stay with